Have you ever wondered if a single fiery crash could hide a web of dark secrets so chilling that Hollywood itself might be desperate to bury them? What if Anne Heche, the bold actress who dared to challenge the industry's underbelly, didn't just lose control of her car that fateful day but was silenced forever? Buckle up, because today we're diving into the twisted tale of Anne Heche's final hours. A true horror story laced with conspiracy, tragedy, and unanswered questions that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about fame, fortune, and fatal accidents. Before we unravel the chaos of that August morning in 2022, let's step back and remember who Anne Heche really was, a woman whose life was a roller coaster of triumphs, scandals, and unyielding resilience. Born in 1969 in Aurora, Ohio, Anne grew up in a dysfunctional family marred by abuse and instability. Her father, a Baptist minister and choir director, was later revealed to be gay and died of AIDS when she was just 13, but not before allegedly molesting her as a child. This traumatic upbringing fueled her later battles with mental health, including a highly publicized breakdown in 2000 where she wandered into the desert claiming to be from another planet. Yet, from these ashes, Anne rose like a phoenix in Hollywood. She burst onto the scene in the 90s with roles in soaps like Another World, earning a Daytime Emmy. Then came the big leagues, starring opposite Johnny Depp in Donnie Brasco, charming audiences in 6 Days, 7 Nights with Harrison Ford, and delivering powerhouse performances in Wag the Dog and Psycho. But Anne wasn't just an actress. She was a trailblazer. In 1997, she went public with her relationship with Ellen DeGeneres, becoming one of the first openly gay couples in Hollywood at a time when that could tank a career. Their high-profile romance ended in 2000, but it cemented Anne's reputation as someone unafraid to live authentically, even if it meant facing backlash. She married Coley LaFoon in 2001, had a son, divorced in 2009, and later dated James Tupper, with whom she had another son. Through it all, Anne battled addiction, bipolar disorder, and the scars of her past, chronicling much of it in her 2001 memoir, Call Me Crazy. By 2022, Anne seemed to be reclaiming her narrative. She was sober, working on projects like the Lifetime movie Girl in Room 13, a thriller about human trafficking inspired by real events. She was vocal about her experiences, podcasting about everything from her relationships to the darker sides of showbiz. Friends described her as vibrant, full of life, and ready for a comeback. But beneath the surface, whispers suggested she knew too much secrets about powerful figures, exploitation in the industry, and perhaps even ties to infamous scandals like Jeffrey Epstein's network. Was she on the verge of exposing something explosive, or was her life spiraling again? As we approach her final hours, these questions loom larger, turning a personal tragedy into a potential conspiracy horror. Let's set the scene. It's Friday, August 5, 2022, a sunny morning in Los Angeles. Anne, 53, starts her day like any other, but signs of distress are already brewing. Reports later revealed she had cocaine in her system, not enough for extreme impairment, some argue, but enough to raise eyebrows. Fentanyl was also detected, though authorities claimed it came from hospital treatment post-crash. Around 10:30 a.m., witnesses spot her blue Mini Cooper weaving erratically through the streets of West Los Angeles. First, she clips a garage door at an apartment complex on Walgrove Avenue. Residents rush out, concerned, but Anne doesn't stop. Instead, she revs the engine and speeds away, her car screeching like a harbinger of doom. Minutes later, just before 11 a.m., disaster strikes in the quiet Mar Vista neighborhood. Anne's Mini hurtles down a residential street at speeds estimated over 90 miles per hour. She plows straight into a modest home on South Walgrove Avenue, crashing through the garage and into the living room. The impact is catastrophic. The car embeds itself deep into the structure, igniting a massive fire that engulfs both vehicle and house. Flames roar, smoke billows, and the air fills with the acrid scent of burning metal and dreams deferred. The homeowner, Lynn Mitchell, is miraculously unharmed, having stepped into her backyard with her dog moments before. But inside the inferno, Anne is trapped. Firefighters from the Los Angeles Fire Department arrive within minutes, but extracting her takes a grueling 59 minutes, nearly an hour of hellish effort. Radio recordings later leaked paint a nightmarish picture. "We have a female patient trapped under the vehicle," one responder says. "She's not conscious, not verbal." They battle intense heat, structural collapse risks, and the car's position, finally pulling it out on a stretcher. Covered in a white sheet, she suddenly sits up, thrashing wildly as if fighting for her life, or perhaps, some say, signaling she was still very much alive and aware. Paramedics rush her to West Hills Hospital, then transfer her to the Grossman Burn Center. She's in critical condition. Severe burns, a collapsed lung, and an anoxic brain injury from smoke inhalation. Doctors place her in a coma, but the prognosis is grim. Over the next week, the world watches in horror. On August 8th, her rep announces she's in extreme critical condition and unlikely to survive. By August 11th, she's declared brain dead under California law. but her body remains on life support for organ donation, a heart-wrenching limbo that fuels the first sparks of conspiracy. Finally, on August 14th, life support is removed, and Anne is pronounced dead at 53. The coroner rules it an accident, death by inhalation and thermal injuries, with a sternal fracture from blunt trauma. No foul play, they say, but is that the whole story? As details emerged, her blood alcohol was 0, but drugs were present. The internet erupts. Why did she crash twice? Was she fleeing something? And why did that sheet-covered figure sit up so dramatically, only to be declared gone days later? Now, here's where the true horror creeps in. The chilling conspiracy theories that suggest Anne's death was no accident, but a calculated hit to silence a whistleblower. Buckle up, because these aren't just fringe rants, they're backed by eerie coincidences that make your skin crawl. First, the Epstein angle. Anne's final project, Girl in Room 13, tackled human trafficking, a theme uncomfortably close to Epstein's Island horrors. Conspiracy theorists claim she was set to expose Hollywood's elite pedophile rings, naming names linked to Epstein's Black Book. PolitiFact debunked Direct Ties. The movie wasn't about Epstein specifically, but why the rush to clarify? Some point to her past with Ellen DeGeneres, whose show faced allegations of toxicity and who was photographed with Ghislaine Maxwell, wasn't about to spill on Ellen's circle. Then there's the crash itself. Video footage shows Anne's car speeding. Without braking, was the vehicle tampered with? Hackers can remotely control modern cars. Was this a Boston Breaks assassination like theories around Princess Diana? Witnesses reported no skid marks, suggesting acceleration, not loss of control. And that homeowner, Lynn, her GoFundMe raised over $100,000 suspiciously fast, with some donors linked to Hollywood insiders. Coincidence or payoff? QAnon circles went wild, claiming Anne was Arkancided, a nod to Clinton-era suspicious death speak she knew too much about child exploitation in tints. Her memoir hinted at abuse. Was she expanding on that in interviews? One viral theory: Anne was dosed with drugs against her will, forced into the car, or even replaced by a body double post-crash. That sit-up moment, proof she was alive and fighting, only to be finished off in the hospital. Fire department records show it took 45 minutes to realize someone was in the car. Deliberate delay. Even Ellen's recent UK move reignited buzz. Is she fleeing scrutiny over Anne and others like Twitch boss, her DJ who died by suicide? Podcasts like Crime Report with Christina Randall dive deep, suggesting Anne's crazy label was a smear to discredit her. YouTube videos titled The Horrifying Truth Behind Anne Heche's Death rack up millions of views, pointing to autopsy discrepancies. Why was fentanyl listed if it was hospital-administered, and cocaine, was it recreational or planted? Skeptics argue it's all grief-fueled paranoia. Anne had a history of mental health issues and substance use. Podcasts revealed she was drinking again. Pre-crashed. The LAPD closed the case. No criminal charges, just a tragic accident. But in a town built on illusions, where stars like Brittany Murphy and Heath Ledger met mysterious ends, doubt lingers. Wasn't a victim of her demons, or a martyr in a larger war against Hollywood's shadows? As we wrap this harrowing journey through Anne Heche's final hours, one thing's clear: her story is a cautionary tale of fame's fragility and the monsters it might hide. Whether accident or assassination, her legacy endures, a fierce spirit who burned bright until the end. Thanks for watching and subscribe until next time.